Let's continue. Looking at the content of the art of creation, how God did it in his wisdom, it is second to none. No God, no other God can do it that way. Even if they can create, they can't create in a wise way. This God of the Jews, the creator of the universe, who happens to be my own God, did his own. Let's look at that expression again. In Genesis chapter number 1, verse number 2 says, "And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth." Now, when you approach something or an environment or a room, and that particular place has no form, is shapeless, and it doesn't have any content, empty, and also filled with darkness, then what would be the first step of action? You discover that this God was filled with wisdom, that the first thing that is needed to be done is to first of all release light. Because a place that is shapeless, a place that doesn't have any content, and also a place that is full of darkness, for you to do anything, you have to first of all have light. Because it is the introduction of the light that will now give you a sense of idea where to begin what you begin. For instance, you entered inside a room, and that particular room is filled with darkness, nothing is inside it, but you do not know before. The first thing you have to do is to look for a light. When you lighten up that environment, that is the only time you can know where to start or where to begin, what you want to do. So what the first thing in his wisdom he did was that he said, "Let there be light." And that is Genesis chapter number 1, verse 3. In the art of creation, he created things according to his wisdom as the need arises. He is not just creating because he has power to create. There are people who can do things because they have the capacity and the ability of doing it, but not so with our God. Our God does his own according to the need. And that is why we should always depend on him, because he knows what we need at a point in time when we need it, and the appropriate time we needed it, and he will always provide for it. When he said, "Let there be light," okay, now there is light. It is quite clear. Everyone can see the shapeless nature of the world. Everyone can equally see that the world is empty because light has appeared. The next thing that is needed is to start feeling that particular vacuum-laden environment with the contents. And that is why the next thing after he said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and darkness gave way, the next thing he said is, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." That is Genesis chapter 1, verse number 6. By implication, when the light shone, water filled everywhere. From this particular earth we are now to the sky, that is the firmament, water filled everywhere. Even beneath the earth, everywhere was water. So the next thing he said is, "Let there be a demarcation so that shape will begin to form." Now there is light. The next thing is to put the place in a shape before he will now begin to do other things. And he said, "Waters, let there be a division of this water, so that there will be a space, so that this place will get shape." And he said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and evening and morning the second day. The first day was bringing introduction of light, and everyone can see. The next thing is now to separate the water so that the heaven can appear, and the waters will fill the earth. It is making a sense now. When you look at the description given to the earth before, it doesn't make sense, but now the light has shone, and there is a division between the earth surface and the sky. there is a shape now. And that's the second day. Then the next thing he decided to do after that was now to say, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. On the second day, he separated the waters so that heaven can appear. Now the whole earth was full, that's this surface land was filled with waters. Then he now came on the third and said, let all the waters that are upon the earth be gathered together. And where are they being gathered to? They are gathered to a place called seas and ocean. Look at it. In Genesis 1 verse 10, he said, and God called the dry land earth, and gathering together of the waters called his seas, and he saw that it was good. So now the whole water on the surface of the earth is gathered to a particular section called the seas. The dry land appeared. Then it was good. And God, then the earth laid bare so that you can see the earth. All the waters that made the whole firmament or the whole universe shapeless. And let me use the word universe. The whole waters has been separated. The heaven has appeared, that is the sky. Then the earth has also appeared. That's great. The water has been gathered together. What's the next need? You can now see the entire surface of the earth without any content in it. God now said, according to the need. Right now, no waters are covering the surface of the earth, and nothing is on top of the earth. The next thing that wisdom demands now is to start putting something upon the surface of the earth. And that is why he went further to say. And in verse number 11 of Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, and whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after all kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Have you seen the sequence with which God is creating his wisdom in action? So if we look at this clearly, we discover that this creator of mankind, who said to the Jewish nation, don't worship any other God, is not selfish. He has qualification. He has portfolio. He has done something all those gods could not do. Before we begin to talk about his mighty hand in delivering them, let's just go further and look at the art of creation. What qualifies him to say, thou shalt have no other God before me? Call me Pastor Elisha, the rising voice in Africa, as well as the reformer with a difference. Thank you for watching. Wait for my next video.